Hey, squirrel. Good evening, everybody. I am Tommy Scoville, and you're on the Lifeboat. What's happening? Hope everybody's having a great day. Huh? Hope everyone's having a good one. Well, people, it's been busy here over at the Lifeboat. We had a pretty good clip for the last couple of days. It's always fun when your views are up, say 100%, 150%. Noise Opera, thank you for the 5x5. Apparently, I'm not looking fuzzy. Is that what I'm to understand? Huh? Do we get it taken care of, people? Thanks, Nick. Thank you, Sandra. Appreciate you. Oh, Susie Q. Oh, Susie Q. Mr. Wolf. He's been waiting for a rant stream. Well, you're in the right place at the right time, brother. Do I have dial-up? Yes. Yes, in fact, I do. I'm sitting on about 1,100 of those AOL free 10-hour CDs. I just feel like it would be bad form to waste them. You know what I mean? And I've been bleeding them out kind of one at a time since 1989. Gotta love America Online. Still fuzzy for you, and I am so sorry to hear that because I've got 4 people that are not on the live with me who are just texting in to let me know how the quality is. So if it's fuzzy for you at this point, you are in the minority, not the minority. So what you're going to be doing is, not the majority rather. So we're going to be moving on from that one. I'm sorry. Take this how I intend it. You can derail a program really quickly with a fuzzy video. I can answer to 200 people before the end of the night. If I'm a little fuzzy, then this is what we're going to put up with for a while, people, because it's either ponying out a whole new setup or perhaps retirement. And I've been kind of going back and forth between the two of them. One of them seems considerably cheaper than the other. So let's get on a rant, shall we? Hey, Snot, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Appreciate the generosity, Snot Face. And it's always good to see you here on the boat. I believe I just saw Miss Dragon. Good to see you. Always good to see you. Please put your link up there, Miss Dragon. That would be great. Sharon, you are a ray of sunshine. I'm always happy when you are here. Bizzle, not so much with you, Biz, but I love you. Maybe not be that ray of sunshine, but it's still great to have you here. Christy, the peace lady. I'll take you fuzzy, then not at all. Well, that's an awfully kind thing to say. See, I'm looking at me. Here's the other thing. Like, check out the glasses, right? Can you guys catch the view in the glasses? Do you see how many screens I'm looking at in this puppy? Like, I've got screens every 5 inches in here. So yeah, I'm looking all right. I don't know what's going on, but did you make a wall fish with all the AOL CDs? Genius. Yeah, that would have been really good information before I threw them all out, but that would have been genius. I love that. Misha, good to see you. Z-Dub, glad that you're here. Plant Freak. Hello, Nat B. Sandra Ferguson. All right, are we ready to start this thing off proper or what? If you're going to be asking a question today, please put the word question in front of the question. Then I will know that it's not just you bantering back and forth with the people you're talking to. It gives a speaker an opportunity to not pay attention to most of what you're talking about, right? That way we don't get sidetracked by conversations. We only kind of try to pay attention to people who are trying to get a hold of the speaker, so to speak. So if you've got a question, put question in front of it. Be happy to delve into just about anything today. The reason I'm doing this is you get bogged down. We've had a really good 4 days here on the Lifeboat, right? In terms of the ship itself. We've got a really good run and brought in a lot of new people. We've been seen on a lot of new platforms. There's a couple more coming up in the next couple of days. As we get closer, I will announce them, but there's a lot going on and we're bringing in a lot of people. And, I was answering some comments back and forth with people today. One who had no idea I had ever robbed a bank, right? There are people who show up maybe in the middle of this. Sharon, we will keep you in our thoughts and prayers. Everybody, we get one up there for Sharon. She's got possible surgery coming up. So That's tough. But I'm glad that you're here among friends, Sharon. I really am. I'm glad that you're here among friends. That is important to me. It is. So I end up answering a lot of the same questions over and over and over and over again. And then every once in a while, a question will come through that, in this morning's video, I made a reference to my homeboy, Aaron. And I had a couple of people who may have thought, maybe I did a bad job. I'll chalk this up. I'll take this one on me. That maybe I didn't communicate what I was trying to communicate. Here's what I was going for. All right. Here's what I was going for. I don't do this person versus that person, any of that kind of stuff. But this is the reason that it's always a good idea to not maybe badmouth people in the community, even if they're not your homeboy or your homegirl, right? Even if they're not someone that's a super close friend to you. But if we're all in the same community and we're all pulling in the same direction, then it's a pretty good idea not to badmouth one another, right? It's like a circular firing squad. We're all shooting at the same target, but we end up shooting at one another. And the internet has the ability to, and the big red button in general has the ability to drive that, to make people get all into this sort of, this camp and that camp, and who's talking about this and who's talking about that. And, what is this person doing? I stay out of that as much as I possibly can, because it's just got nothing to do with the subject matter at hand. It's got nothing that has brought all of us together. That said, there are some people out there that have said some rank things about friends of mine, right? Then those people reach out to me and say, hey, man, do you want to do a video? So here's a great across the board warning to everybody on earth, right? Let's pick somebody randomly out of the hat. Charlie Murphy, right? Charlie and Balake Richardson, right, are building a YouTube channel, and they're getting everything fired up and off of the ground, and they want me to promote the channel, right? I'd be more than happy to promote the channel to anybody that's doing anything, right? I'm happy to push things out there. Now, however, if anyone starts to talk about my boys, Charlie and Balake, right, the channel comes out and somebody says, yeah, that guy's kind of a piece of crap. I don't even know why, Tommy backs them or whatever. You're going to go on the list of people that I will never do anything for. This social media platform gives you an opportunity to really screw yourself up real quick. Don't talk bad about people who are all fighting in the same cause. Got an issue with them? Fantastic. Call them on the telephone. You do know you can do more than just text with these things, right? For real. From what I understand, you can still talk into these, right? Make a freaking phone call. Let's all remember who the enemy is, man, right? Here's the way I got it worked out. And I don't know, maybe I'm screwed up in the head, Admittedly, I spent a lot of time doing drugs, and I've had a lot of concussions. I've taken a lot of shots to the head. Maybe I got it screwed up. But to me, the enemies are addiction, right? Slavery, abuse of any kind, right? Trauma. These are the things we're fighting, right? So, why would I fight Virginia or Teresa or Charlie, right? Or Balake or New England Coast? But let me tell you something. When everybody comes together here, right? And somebody shows up and says, I have a daughter who's addicted to drugs, and I'm going through it, and I think she's stealing from me. Good Lord, this person is coming here and opening up and telling you deep, heavy things from their life, right? It tends to bind us together. It tends to make all of us really start to care for one another in a way that's a little bit different than the average internet hanging out. You just happen to be a sub kind of way, right? That should make sense, shouldn't it? Okay. Well, if you talk about the people who happen to be in this group, don't think I will go on a show with you. As much as I would like to build the Lifeboat to the biggest thing in the world and save as many people as possible, there are lines that don't get crossed, and there are things that I believe in. And I have said, and I will continue to say, you can choose your family. So what I was saying this morning was, Aaron has become a brother to me in a lot of ways. I care deeply for the cat. And he's been a straight shooter from the first time I met him. He's never given me a reason to question anything that he says or does. So if you make videos where you kind of trash the guy, don't send me an email, right, that says, hey, I'd like to do a video with you. Or if you've already sent that email, The reason I'm not responding is because I don't even correspond to people who trash my friends. Right? That's what I was trying to clear up this morning. Nobody in here is doing it. I wasn't talking to anybody in the I wasn't talking to anybody in the live chat, so to speak, right? I was definitely talking to somebody in the live chat, but I wasn't talking to anybody in the live chat. If you saw today's thumbnail, I think I might have made it myself. Let me check real quick. Could have been one of my 15 employees. Actually, it's just me and Squirrel. But it says question and answers, right? And a special shout out to my biggest fans. So I'm not going to ever turn my back on the people that I care about. I'm not going to let people badmouth the people I care about. And doesn't mean I'm going to chase them down and kill them. It doesn't mean I'm going to start making hate videos about them. I just don't intend to go on their channel, right? I'm not firing back. I don't play this schoolyard BS, right? What are we, 6? Sir, I agree with you, my friend. I really dig AA Ron's channel, and he's done a lot for the Lifeboat. He's done an amazing amount for this channel. Yeah. Is there a daily show? This is the daily show, bro. We do this twice a day, 5 a.m. in the morning and 5 at night on the Pacific time zone, 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. That would be 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Every once in a while, something will happen where I can't get somebody to sit in the chair and I'm under the weather, or my occasional trip to the hospital. Seems like I've been doing that a lot lately. 3.5 years old. Security. Quality over quantity. Not hard to be respectful. No, you know what? It's not hard to be respectful, right? Absolutely not hard to be respectful. And you know what the beautiful thing is? I got another email I'd love to talk to, and I'll do a little bit of a rant. I got multiple emails that said, they call me a communist or a socialist or a couple of other ists, right? Ists. And the reason that, good night, Snut. The reason that they were going off is because I do not believe in free speech. And what they meant by that was they came on here in the comment section and started dropping F-bombs left and right, and started just, for all intents and purposes, doing everything they could to push Captain Tommy's buttons, talking about me, talking about my family. We blocked them. This is a simple concept, right? We hit a button. You can watch my stuff until the end of time, but you will just never be able to leave a comment. Now, do I like doing that? I don't. I like open dialogue. But make no mistake, if you think that has something to do with free speech, do you think free speech means I can walk up in your living room, right? Go into your house, walk into your living room and say, hey, I have a right to speak here, right? Your wife's fat, and I think she's a thief. There you go. It's my free speech. That one's fat. She's a thief. Free speech, right? You can't stop me from saying that. You're damn right I can. You're damn right I can. Free speech is great. It's protected in the town square. And you may think this is the town square. It's not. It is the Lifeboat. And it is run by a guy, me, and it is owned, I'd love to say, by 12,000 people. It's really not the case. But I'll tell you what, it's owned by about 300 or 400 people that are in here day in, day out, the people that are diehard and been here, and you can get here today and become a part of it for sure. The people that are into it, doesn't matter whether you come once a month, but the people who are into it, you know what I mean. When they're here, it's like family. These are people that the day they showed up on the Lifeboat, we just kind of knew, right? I've said this many times. They're the people where you say to yourself, I honestly cannot remember who. I truthfully and honestly can't remember a time when that person wasn't here. Those are usually the ones that fit in nicely. If you ever did that, I'd look at my wife and say, how does Tommy know? No, he's kidding. He's kidding. Jokes. He's got jokes. Jokes are good. Jokes are good. Sorry, people, just checking to make sure that I'm not missing anybody. We have been cooking, right? Sorry, just making sure. Just making sure. Wow. There are so many new people here that are just fantastic. People that we've never seen before on the live chat. People who are leaving comments, who are coming and instantly opening up about things from their past and talking about trauma that they're working through, and they've been here a day, right? What did I miss? Free speech. All you like, but speaking like that to my wife. Quick way to ride in the boot of the car. No, hey, you got to be careful, right? You got to be careful where you exercise it. You absolutely have to be careful where you exercise it. Drama is why I left another community. Look, nobody digs drama. Nat B, I don't want to pick on you. I just love this. I'm not. Nat B says, I'm all about free speech, but there is a line. And I love it. I think that's such a great line. And it's the ultimate icebreaker to this kind of conversation. Because the really amazing thing is that my thing is, where's that line? I think it would be great if there was a line. And I think the line should be set as safe as possible to not bum out everybody, or anybody rather. But you know what? There can't be that line. There can't be. And the reason is that if there's going to be that line, somebody's got to draw it. Somebody has to decide what is offensive so bad that we can put you in prison for it. Or what you say is so wrong that we can put you in prison for it. Who gets to decide that? And who's watching that cat, right? I think that you err on the side of, I'll give you a perfect example, right? For those of you who have been here a long time, Doug, I'll tell you what, if you shoot me an email, I do this for people all the time. I just need to know what organization you're with, because there's a long list of people that approve the Lifeboat on who you're working with at the time. It is absolutely a possibility, Doug. All right. Yeah, the thing about it always comes back to the same thing. There's someone that has to draw that line in the sand. And if you use me as an example on any given day, so if you've been on the Lifeboat for a while, right? Last week, you remember this? I kind of had a transient ischemic attack. I had a mini whatever. And this thing caused me to kind of stroke off. And it wasn't pleasant to watch. If you care about me, it certainly wasn't pleasant for my family to watch. It looks like a stroke. And somebody made a short of it where they juxtaposed me and Mitch McConnell. And I'll be honest with you, it's the most creative of the things that I've seen done by people that don't like me much. It was funny, but it's not particularly nice, right? But I wouldn't want somebody to police that, because the person who's policing that might decide they don't like what I say. So I live my life in such a way where I'm not looking at it. You follow me? Like, I just don't look at it. I have to live different. I've chosen that, I ain't Brad Pitt. But when you start putting up videos every day and 1,000 people see one of them, then all of a sudden you kind of open yourself up for that. And if you're not cool with that, it's easy to stop hitting record, right? I think I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty cool with it. Who we got here? Cat question. Is tonight the night you and Russ are doing Night Yard? Tonight's the night. My mom was a medical CO, MCI, Cedar Junction and Plymouth County, and I enjoy hearing your stories. I miss her stories, Kat. Sorry to hear that she's gone. Absolutely. Tonight is the night that Russ and I will be doing Night Yard. So please tune into that. It's always fun. Two bald guys will let their hair down and reminisce a little about the times before we got it together. Hello, Sandy Bowers. Good to see you. Cindy Plumley. Nat B. Oh, I know I said hi to Nat B, but I'll do it again. Christopher Cooper from the other side of the pond. Giving this for people to watch the wrestler Kurt Angle open up about addiction on True Geordie podcast. Very inspiring. If one of our wrenches can find a link to that and put it up, that would be great. The wrestlers struggle so hard, man. They struggle so hard. What those guys do to their body to make a living, and then when it's over, like anything else where you just abuse the hell out of your body, when it's over, it's over. And then, the pains don't go away, the paychecks and the cheering go away, and all the adulation and the people who tell you you're cool, all that goes grinding to a halt, and the people that chase you around and go, oh, right, that noise dies out. The pain stays, if not gets worse. And they end up on so many medications. It's a horrific, horrific thing. I'd be very interested in catching that. If someone can throw up a link, that'd be great. Christopher, thank you as always for your generosity, and please give a big shout out to your family for me, please. Good dad. The Real Scummy says, love it here. We talk open and have a laugh, yet it's always with respect, and very rarely do we have someone who doesn't get it. I tend to agree. I tend to agree with that. Oh, I will watch it. I promise you. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. This is the one I was looking for. I'm very sorry. Almost 3/4 people who have an addiction have that in their background. And very often, of course, it is something that is in people's backgrounds. It is definitely passed down. There's a heredity aspect to it that cannot be debated. To be sure. Zach D, my man, good to see you. I am doing well, sir. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you are here. Truly, I am. Glad you're here. Let's see. Tonight's the night. Did you do that first, or did I already start singing that? It was probably me. If the future's looking dark, we're the ones who have to shine. Uh-oh. It's going to bring out a rant. Somebody said, took umbrage with something that I did in a short. In the short, I said, we're under attack. The weapon is drugs. And the countries that are attacking us currently, the two big ones would be North Korea and I ruffled some feathers with this. I was called a warmonger and all kinds of other things. Man, I'm not trying to go to war. I'm not trying to go to war at all. We're already at war. I'm a medic. I got no desire to carry a gun. I'm just trying to save people's lives from the guns that are being used. And the guns that are being used, yeah, they're the kind that go bang, bang, shoot, shoot, right? They're the kind people put in their arms, or worse, they just take these pills, just swallow pills. I could show you a picture from, I don't know where Johnny is. I'll post it. I'll post it on the Safe Harbor. Johnny and I drove by a bust, a fent bust. And I how do you know it's fent? Because driving by, the pile of bags were so big that you could just see they were blue Perk 30s. The entire thing was counterfeit Perk 30s. And I'm talking about, you can do the math. When you see the picture, you can let me know what you think. But just random, regular run-of-the-mill drug bust, down near the border. But when people say, oh, but it's not about, that country, it's not about this. That stuff comes from China. If it bums you out that I say that, sorry. You know what I mean? See this right here? That's a cat, right? That's a cat. Dice. right? And the fentanyl in our streets right now, and the nitazines, the phytonitazines, the isonitazines, all of the drugs that are killing people right now in powdered form, in pill form, all of that stuff. Black market on the street today. That stuff's got China's thumbprint all over it. Originally, China was just shipping the fentanyl over. They were shipping the drugs direct. The last administration went in and got got deals worked out with them where they will not ship fentanyl over to this part of the world, but they'll ship analogs, right? Chemicals that you can make some bathtub version of it. It's not going to be alpha fentanyl. It's not going to be the safe version that they give out in hospitals. But when they say, yo, you're crazy, this isn't a war. We're not under attack. Don't do the warmongering thing. Look, Stoli is a criminal, people, not as anything other than a person who, thank you very much, Yankee Kyle, as somebody that just was a criminal, right? I've dealt drugs. I've smuggled drugs. I've done all of those things, right? You start moving massive amounts of this stuff into the United States, right? Tons and tons and tons of it. And you kill about 60,000 people in 1 year. 60,000. And you know what? That starts making the front pages of newspapers. You got politicians bitching about shutting down the border. You got people talking about putting the military down there. Everyone's going nuts. Quick question, right? $1 million question, genius. What do you do? Huh? What do you do? You're getting the anger of the country on you. They're talking about the army, and you're making billions of dollars hand over fist. You're hiding cash in train cars, right? What do you do? Oh, I don't know. Maybe you back off a little bit. Doesn't have to be crazy. You don't even have to back it off so much that you're going to piss off the end user. Maybe 10%. Lay a quick 10% duff on it. Right? Think about it. Hello, Christy. Think about it. You cut it. You make it safer. Maybe even you cut 25% in. And you know what? What do you think happens to the stuff you cut? Right? Here's your stuff. You're going to remove this and put in some cut. You're going to make more money. If they made the stuff weaker so it would kill less people, they would make more money. But did they do that? No, they made it stronger. Why? Why in God's name would they do that? Tell me, why would they? It's bad business. You understand that no drug dealer would do this from a business standpoint. Now you get more angry politicians. They're writing laws, right? People are freaking out. You got angry politicians. You got angry parents. You got more police action, doubling the size of the undercovers, and all of the things that can get you caught as a cartel. Maybe back off. No, you don't back off. You ramp it up. You make it stronger. And then we hit over 100,000 deaths in 1 year. Number one cause of death in the United States of America from the age of 18 to 50 is drug overdose. Now, you run a cartel. Okay? What do? Make it stronger? Now the government really starts stepping in and they say, good God, we got to do something because this isn't just killing. This is killing everybody. This is killing everybody. Now politicians are going nuts and they're writing laws and the laws are cracking people off. Oh, you caught with this stuff now? We're going to give you a much longer sentence. Guess what? You ain't catching the guy selling it. You're catching the guy risking his life so that the guy selling it can get rich. Put him in jail. Typical knee-jerk reaction from our government. Get the end user, lock him up, throw away the key. People at the top still keep getting rich, right? That doesn't change. But the government finally has one or two ideas that actually make sense from a drug and a criminal standpoint. Let's stop making people need a freaking prescription to get Narcan. Huh? Let's make it so that the antidote to an opiate drug overdose, anybody can get. Think of the lives that we could save. Well, see, back in the day, if a person overdosed on heroin, if you knew what you were doing, you didn't even need Narcan. You could sit there and annoy them, do sternum rubs, right? Slap them around, little CPR if necessary, cold water, but just walking them and slapping them and keeping them going. I never saw anybody go. Never saw anybody get lost. But see, fent doesn't work that way. 8, 9, 10 doses, right, of Narcan to bring somebody back. So what do? Well, they roll out a new drug, and they call it Trank. Of course, people also call it Zombie. Zach D, you are too kind. What a nice thing to say. He says, Tommy, love you, brother. Can't tell you how much the boat and Chase the Heat has meant to me and my family. Much love to the Scovilles. Thank you, Zach D. You are too kind. You really are. Lucky that you're here. I'm lucky that you're watching, and that's all of you, man. I mean, for real. I'm blessed and lucky that you all are here. But what they do is they add xylazine. They take what is, people on the streets call this a benzodiazepine. It's not, but it's as close to a benzodiazepine as anything else you're going to get. And is there a Narcan version for this? Oh yeah, there is. There is. I mean, it's like trying to find a 25 carat diamond on the side of the road. It's a pretty damn rare thing. It's not something you're going to find at every single pharmacy. It's going to be a long time before that's the case. It seems like every single batch that comes across the border is just engineered a little bit better to kill. 2 milligrams of fentanyl will kill a man, right? That's a big man. That's me, 6'2", 225 pounds. This is a big dude. 2 milligrams, you're dead. That will kill about 80% of the population of the known world, the normal people. A guy like me that's been doing opiates his entire life, it's probably not going to take me out. However, the last time the CDC started talking about this and admitting to it, they said 6 out of 10 pills that they have been confiscating have more than 2 milligrams. So 6 out of 10 of these are a freaking death sentence. And it's coming from China. I'm not trying to piss off the world. I'm not trying to argue with anybody. I'm not trying to be a warmonger. I don't want war. I want this war to end. I want this war to end. Our president sat with Xi, right? Go have a 3-4 hour sit down. Do that 3 or 4 times so far. How many times has he brought up the word fentanyl? Do a little research. It'll cheer you right up. If the man at the top doesn't think it's important enough to ask Xi about the fact that everything coming in here has his fingerprints on it, and I'm not saying this hypothetically, you understand this. It's not difficult to track this crap and say, this is the exact same batch that came from that. And you know where those same batches are showing up? We are the second per capita. We have the second largest problem with fentanyl in the world per capita. Right? You know what number 1 is? Israel. Right? Same fent. China fent. Right? China fent. What do they have in common with us? Well, they're certainly allies, right? They're certainly freaking allies. History is going to prove that Captain Tommy Scoville wasn't stupid. You could do a little research. I did a show on it. And I know a lot of you are brand new and you haven't seen a lot of these shows. Thank you so much, Christopher Cooper. He says, anyone that doubts the validity of this channel, please listen to this man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I really do. Thank you, Christopher. What I would recommend that you do is go back and look at the show that I did on vaccines, right? I know that word right there is cancer, right? Just saying that out loud is going to get this thing killed. But I'm talking about a vax that they were working on that would make it so that opioids, synthetic opioids, couldn't get you high. You see, the way it works is this little thing it looks like a key, right? In your head. It doesn't really look like a key, but it has the same idea as a key. It goes into the receptor. It turns the receptor like a key would, and your receptor lets out your own feel-good chemicals, and that's what gets you high. You understand the concept, right? So I'm sorry, people. Can I get a 5x5? Can I get a 5x5? I feel like I lost this. Thank you so much, Christopher. Ben Turner says, love your boat captain and love all your mods. They are great people. We're going to be putting up a list of all of our mods and all of the stuff that they do so that you can go and follow them, because a lot of the mods on this channel are really incredible content creators in their own right, who all are doing really positive stuff and just putting a great message out there. But they're coming up with this vaccine, and this vaccine will keep the synthetic opioid from getting through the blood-brain barrier so that it can attach. Basically, this thing is going to attach itself onto, right, so that it's too big to pass through the wall. So it's really not technically. How do you know it's from China? It's hard to hear. It kind of cuts out, so I'm not sure if it's your internet or mine. It's yours, hon. Listen, I know, because the chemical makeup of the precursors are manufactured in one place. The people who track this stuff, just do deep dive on this. It'll take you a day or two. It's not difficult to do. So don't deny it, because they say we're not shipping fentanyl. We're not. It's like saying I'm not shipping a car. I'm shipping a 351 Cleveland, 4 freaking tires, a frame, some doors, and a hood. But I'm not shipping a car. Or worse, we're not sending motorcycles. I'll send a fully assembled motorcycle minus an engine, and the next day I'll send you an engine. They're sending the precursors to this stuff to Mexico. We're tracking it. We're not stupid. The satellites are literally give you a place to start. You send me an email and I will make this really easy for you. I'll send you all of this, the links that you can go to. I'll give you a whole host of books. I'll give you 3 years worth of reading on this. Trust me when I tell you the fentanyl on our street is coming from one place on planet Earth currently, and it's coming from China. A lot of it is being made in North Korea. This stuff is tracked from the second it leaves where it's going to here. There's no ambiguity to this. We know what's going on. I used to order it to my front door. The last administration shut it down so that you couldn't buy fentanyl directly from them. Up until 7 or 8 years ago, you could buy fentanyl fully assembled right to your front door. I did it. Right. Then the laws changed. And now the only thing that you could buy would be the precursors, right? You're buying, it has all of the ingredients but one, right? Or it has all the ingredients but this, which we will sell to you in another package. We have very unusual laws in this country, people, and the more you know about them, the more bizarre they are, especially when it comes to drugs. Look up, you want to look up, know where to start? Go start with China Research Chemical. Go look up that company and see what you can buy there. I'm telling you, there's not, with all due respect to you, you may be the only person in the world who does not believe that this fentanyl comes from China. No one else debates it. This is coming from China. It is their fentanyl. And this is, you want to take a country out? This is the way to do it. Right. And I'll tell you, if you're really a genius, you know what else you do? You take over the hearts and minds of the kids. Well, how could you do that? I don't know. Maybe you could send TikTok into their house. The most high-tech AI software on the planet, right? So that we hand our kids over to them every day. How many hours a day do your kids spend on TikTok? I got a challenge for you. You say, where do I start, Captain Tommy? Here's where you start. Go get a clean phone, right? I wouldn't have it be mine, right? But go get you a clean phone and set up a TikTok account and make yourself a 13 or 14-year-old boy or girl, right? Build yourself a full profile. Do it for real. You play field hockey after school. You haven't had a boyfriend yet, but there's one that you like. And then build yourself the sweetest little girl profile that you've ever done in your life. And watch what those algorithm thinks your 13-year-old daughter needs to look at. How those algorithms take apart everything that you believe in for this country. Okay? Everything you liked about this country, they will systematically tell your kids isn't worth a shit. Watch it. Go do it. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for anything. Right? Don't take my word for anything. Except maybe that heroin's dangerous. You don't need to try that, right? But go build a TikTok account. See how TikTok works? I'm going to break that one down for you real quick. This is good. This is good for craps and giggles. Their goal and what this heavy duty AI does is it's tracking you, right? And it knows within a few minutes what you did, what causes the dopamine hit to go. So the question becomes, how long can I push I'm not saying I don't believe. It's just I think more than a coincidence that these are the countries the U.S. government wants to go to war with uh, and war against. Well, if you were privy to all of this information, CJ in Pennsylvania, let's just say for laughs, let's go with the assumption that everything I'm saying is correct. And we'll go with the assumption that everything you're saying is correct. And that the powers that be right now are looking at the exact same countries that I'm talking about. Perhaps it's because 350 Americans a day, give or take, are dying every single day because of poison that they're pushing into this country, right? That's 100,000 people a year. That's a couple of Vietnams every single year. We've lost more people to the war on drugs, to the overdoses in the war on drugs, to the opiate epidemics than we have to all the wars combined in modern times. Combined. But it's okay because they're write-offs. They're junkies. Right? The dope fiend. So we don't care as much, do we? I mean, just keeping it real. You know, if we were losing 350 Girl Scouts a day, how about one airplane? I use this analogy all the time. But one airplane a day, 350 people in it. If we lost an airplane a day, do you think the Federal Aviation Administration in our White House would let a plane take off tomorrow? Do you? Because I assure you they wouldn't. And listen, I don't think our government's worth a fart, by the way. I'm glad you don't have TikTok, CJ. I really am glad you don't have TikTok. But what they do is they stretch it out. They want to see how long they can go. So little Tommy's down there and he's doing his thing, right? And I'm playing with my phone. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And it just starts to get boring. And I go, I'm done. And I set the phone down or I do whatever. The algorithm goes 36.4 seconds. We screwed up. Next time we got to give him the dopamine a second and a half before that because he was right on the cusp. We used to grow up, sit down on the couch, watch a little TV, right? Watch the commercials, maybe go outside, hang out with our friends. Some of us smoked dope. Some of us didn't. Some of us were athletes. Some of us weren't. But a big part of every day was watching TV, right? The TV shows, the commercials, all of it. Your kids are doing the same thing, except the TV is watching them. And the commercials are watching them and learning from them. And they're deciding what your kids are going to buy. And you know what? If what your kid is going to buy isn't quite good enough, well, then they'll change it. Think I'm crazy? They will determine what is acceptable and what isn't. I don't care about your politics, people. I don't care about your politics. But I'm 53 years old. There's never been a time in my life where I've seen anti-Semitism accepted and rampant, right? At college campuses all over the US and the world. What do you think changed? What's changed is we've allowed the people who are controlling the information to control the information. And information right now is, bar none, the most valuable and the most dangerous commodity on earth. It is. And the people that control it are going to control the world. And they are controlling what our kids believe, not what we do. We're too old for that garbage. We remember, I'm so sorry you have just missed my answering machine, right? Answering machines. Think of the things that, how different the world that people are living in now. Take this from a guy that disappeared off of the planet for 13 years and then popped back up on it. I don't think you can imagine just how ridiculously fast the technology is moving. I mean, I didn't go to prison like I have never used a cell phone. Like I went to prison like, I had a Note 5. The last phone I had was a Note 5. I'm hip, right? I'm no computer geek, but I'm hip. I got out and couldn't figure out what the hell had happened with any. I mean, I'm looking at things going, you got to be kidding. No prejudice is acceptable based on ignorance. Well, I'm of the firm belief that all prejudice is ignorance. I mean, I honestly believe all prejudice is based on ignorance. People hate that which they don't know. When you get to know people of other cultures and from other worlds and of other ethnicities or other religions or whatever, you find out that there's way more that we have in common than what separates us. For real. Why do you think they don't want blacks and whites sitting at the same table in prison? They like us mad at each other. Divide and conquer. If the whites hate the blacks, right, and the northern Mexicans are hating the, this group, and the Southern Mexicans are hating this group and all that. They can sit back and go, woo, go ahead and fight amongst yourselves. We'll be safe over here in the corner. They like it that way. And don't kid yourself. That's the powers that be in the world. They want us hating one another. There's no third option, right? You're right wing, you're left wing. If you say, well, I'm kind of in the middle, everybody's in the middle. The whole friggin' world is in the middle, but they will not let you believe that that's the truth. Turn on TV and find anybody that sits and says, yeah, the truth of the matter is there's probably a hell of a lot more of people who are dead in the center than really right wing or really left wing, right? I mean, that's the truth. We have way more in common than separate, right? Good. Go find me a news channel that talks about that. You know why they don't, right? Because if I know that every person listening to the sound of my voice right now hates country and Western music, well, then I'm not going to try to sell you any country and Western music, right? We can take that right off the board. When you start really dividing the camps into two camps, it's stereotypes, and it sucks because most of them aren't true, but it's stereotypes, right? Rednecks, trucks, mud flaps, chewing tobacco, beating your wife, wearing a wife beater, right? What's that? That's Republicans, isn't it? Sad, but this is what they mock up, right? And they do the same thing the other way. Dope, smoking, wife swamping, no belief in God, heathens, sacrificing, children to the, to Satan at midnight. We're all pretty damn similar. Canada's changed that much since I was a kid. And my mom and dad had no problem hanging out with people who were of completely different political affiliations, and no one gave a crap. They might have picked on each other. But what happened is this happened. This happened. Geniuses who really knew what they were doing said divide and conquer. We're going to separate them so badly that if you go, I'm going to put on Fox News and I'm out. Thank you. Have a good day. I don't even talk to people who watch. I mean, for real, tell me that's not the case. Sorry, I don't hang out in a house that watches Fox. I've heard that crap. Or vice versa. It doesn't matter. Pick which one. Sorry. Yeah, you know what, man? I did social media when I first started doing this, man. I was all over social media, and I never got big on any of them. I didn't get big. But I had 12 or 13,000 people on what's that one called? Instagram. Maybe 10, 11, something like that. I don't remember. I had a lot. For me, and for a short period of time, I had a lot. And one day I just said, you know what? This is taking up a lot of my time. And then a guy left me a message about how he was really happy that my father was dead, and made some suggestions about how, what his last hours might have been like. And I thought to myself, this is a classy family I'm building here, right? And I didn't have the same kind of control. I didn't have moderators who believed the same things that I believed. There was a much different setup. And I just said, you know what? Between the two of these, I had about 175 people as subscribers on YouTube, but it was a better pick. It was real, and the interaction was different. And every once in a while, somebody would wander onto the boat, and you would find somebody that you never would have found any other way. And some of the people in my life who are more important to me right now than anyone else, I discovered that way. So I love the big red button for all of its damn flaws. I love it. I really do. Lady Crispin, thank you so much. You look fantastic in green, above and beyond the call, as always. I don't blame you, Valerie. I'll tell you what, I don't like hate. I really can't. Yeah, I mean, Steve, that's the case, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's the case. We're gonna lose altogether 106,000 people this year in the United States to drug overdose. But you know what they're going to do, right? They're going to remind you of the 4 or 5 names of people who had an Academy Award. Because for the love of God, they're just worth more. They're just more important. Okay, another rant. Somebody was talking about Danny, and I'm not mad at you. If you're the one that left this comment, I'm not mad at you, right? I'm not. But it's just such a good illustrator. There's no way around it. The person said, I don't want to see the Church of Scientology messing around and things. It makes me uncomfortable. But, he wore a suit to sentencing. Who cares, man? Why does that bother you so much? Who cares? He wore a suit to sentencing. It's not a big deal. The rest of it's a big deal. And I understand his sentiment. I understand you're sitting back there going, who cares, man? So what? For 4 minutes, you got to wear a suit. I mean, he's never going to wear another one. Tommy, why do you care? And here's what it comes down to for me. I've been sentenced, I don't know, 25, 30 times. And I got sentenced, whether my mom and wife were in the room or whatever, I got sentenced wearing jail clothes that hundreds, if not thousands of people had already worn. They stink, they're brown, they're disgusting, and you feel unbelievable shame standing there in them. How come he didn't do that? It's not a big deal, right? What difference does it make, right? The reason it makes a difference is, why wasn't he dressed the way I was? Why was he in a suit? Well, he was in a suit because he's more important than me, right? And the 25,000 people who have been sentenced in that courtroom in the last 2 years, he's more important than those people, right? So he doesn't have to look like a peasant wearing jail garb just because he assaulted, right, more women than you could count on two hands, and been convicted and is waiting to go to prison for 30 years. But we don't want to embarrass the guy. He's better than the rest of them. We're going to let him put a suit on, but it's not a big deal, right? Is that a big deal? Honestly, is it a big deal? How about to all the cops standing there going, you ever seen an inmate wear a suit at sentencing? Dude's a big deal, isn't he? For real, he's got to be. Why would they let this dude do that? I mean, I know he was in a TV show or whatever, but damn, I can't believe they let him dress that way. And as that guy's taking him out to the bus, he goes, hey, man, you want to smoke? Straight up. Hand him a cigarette, light it up. Why? Well, because he's watching everybody else treat him like he's a freaking prince. That's how it works. So is it a big deal? It's a big-ass deal to me. I'll tell you what. Because somewhere along the way, somebody said, so-and-so, all within the church, by the way, not in the real world, to you ignoramuses who still keep saying, the only evidence they got is what the Jane Doe said. How come they never came forward? If you're going to make stupid comments, do some research, man. The guy admitted to what he did. Elocution, his own words. Asshats. But the point being, as you're being educated, by this organization of evilness, right? This organization that systematically destroys people. Those who don't understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, I think we've done a fairly decent job of articulating it. If we haven't, you don't have to watch. There's the off button. I want to run anybody off. I want everybody to stay. I want everybody to stay, and I want you to drag 3 or 4 friends with you. Right? I want this to grow. I want it to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Send the robots to Strowman. No, they do want to divide and conquer in everything that they do. They want us to hate one another. And you know what? It's working. It really is, isn't it? It's working. Now you hear people say things like, screw him, dude's a Democrat. Screw him, the guy's a Republican. Go scroll through your, what do you call it? Go scroll through your shorts and watch how many memes are just viciously mean in one direction or another. We can't be nice to one another anymore. Question, my granddaughter's uncle is back in rehab for the 3rd time. They are well aware that he has OD'd on heroin several times. What can we do as a family to try to keep him straight this time? What you can do, Kathy, is let him know that you're going to be there for him. And it's a difficult thing to walk a line between saying, I'm going to be here for you and I'm not going to enable you at the same time, right? You do anything you can do within your power to help this person get back on their feet. You don't hand them money for anything and let them walk away. You hand somebody $20 and they disappear with it, you've made a mistake. If they go, oh, you know what? I need this so badly, you don't know. I got to pay this bill. If I don't pay this bill right now, they're going to turn the phone off. Fantastic. Let's go pay the bill. Come on, jump in my car. I'll go down and pay it with you. I'm going to use a check, right? You have to keep a very short leash. And I would respect the hell out of it if it were me and you came to me and said right out of there, I want to tell you something. I don't believe you. And it's not you. I love you. I remember you. I trust you. But right now, heroin's at the wheel, right? I don't trust heroin. So until you can demonstrate to me that heroin's not driving anymore, trust me, I'm watching you the way that I would watch someone I don't trust, because I don't trust heroin. You know, give them a big smile and a hug. Let's earn back. Let's figure this out. Let's earn that trust back. But right now, I don't trust you for good reason. I wouldn't trust me. Heroin's a hell of a drug. And when it takes over, there's not much that you can do. He needs peer support. And I'm not pitching that to try to get you to drag him here. But he needs this kind of support. He needs people who are in recovery, who understand what it means to have a day where you're doing this and you can't explain why. It's good to go somewhere where people understand what you're going through. He's going to need peer support. And if you can support him in that and say, you know what, I'm happy to, I'll attend meetings with you. There's one that's online. It's easy as hell. They call it the Lifeboat. I'll attend the first couple with you. And then shoot me a text. Give me a head start. Let me know he's coming, and we'll sort of tailor it a little bit so that, we speak to somebody fresh out of rehab, and I'll throw in some heroin because, believe it or not, I do a lot of it. Believe it or not, Tommy's not home. Please leave a message after the tone. Where could he be? Believe it or not, I'm not home. Dumb question. What are the ones for? There are no dumb questions. Well, that's not true. I caught a couple dumb ones today, but there are very few dumb questions. The ones are a way that we have to support one another. I'll tell you exactly what it means to me. To me, it means that I'm praying to my Lord and Savior for whoever I just said. I'm putting a one up there. I'm praying for your kid if they're sick. I'm praying for whatever the case may be. There are people who do not believe in God. They're not offended by the fact that I'm praying. What they're going to do is say, hey, I don't believe in prayer, but I'm pulling for you. I'm hoping. I'm just here, and I'd like you to know that I hope something good happens to you, right? I'm sorry. But yeah, that's what the ones are for. And for other people, it's just kind of a, hey, if I were there, I'd be throwing a virtual hug around you. An old man that can't work his phone. Yeah, that would be me. That would be me. Yes, sending well wishes, sending love, a virtual hug, a prayer. It's crazy what you can just place an order online from China. Or if you can think of it, you can buy it. It's getting a little tougher to buy drugs that are fully assembled. You got to be a little bit more creative, but absolutely, there are still people buying dope. Yeah. I am so sorry, CJ. I'm so sorry to hear that, CJ. I'm glad that you're. I'm glad that you shared that with the crew here. I can't imagine. I truthfully can't. My dad passed away. It'll be 3 years in February. And they've been a really long 3 years. Honestly, I feel for you. That 22 is a really, really long time. And I'm sorry. You know what? In fact, there's this. It's because I miss my dad too, to be really honest. You know what, Mary Gonzalez? I said the same thing. Very often the people who say really cruel things do so because they're in pain. Somebody left a very hateful comment, but it was a hateful comment. I've been doing this a long time now, right? And somebody left a hateful comment, but it was one of those comments where if I were to read it to you, I would have read it with a slur because I knew I mean, honestly, I knew that this was written by somebody that was very, very intoxicated. And so I clicked on their page and I went over and randomly picked just one video. He consumed what had to be a pint or very close to a pint of hard alcohol in one just gulp. And I hadn't been mean to him in my response, but he had said something really mean on the video about Bubba passing away. I won't say what he said, but it was along the lines of, "Nah, who cares," kind of a thing. And I didn't block him that day because I thought he was probably drinking. But after seeing the video, I left a message and just said, "Boy, we'd love to have you here on the boat because I don't think it's got anything to do with me. It's a tough world we live in, and I think you're in pain, and I understand that pain. But you want to see a lot of people that could absolutely do wonders for trying to help you through that pain. You need to check out the SS Lifeboat, right? Where the greatest power in all of rehab resides. And of course, I am referring to the cat in the basket. That is Squirrel Sailor Squirrel. Nothing? What do you say, kitty? Very good cat. All right, peeps, here's how we're going to do it. I have got a couple of minutes after the hour of 7. Russ and I are going to be going back up. It's going to be about 10 after. Okay. You know what? Hey, Kenneth, I'll do this. I almost do it every show, but it's so important. The Facebook we're talking about is not the Facebook everyone else is talking about. I hate Facebook, right? I have thousands of friend requests going back years. I don't do it. So if I've never accepted you, it's not a personal thing. I don't do it. I don't do anything with it. The only thing I do is use it as a tunnel to walk to the Lifeboat group page. I don't go anywhere outside of that. So it's not even Facebook. To me, it's just a tunnel to get to the other group of people who hang out on the Lifeboat, and they do it on Facebook. Nice thing about Facebook over there is it's a much smaller group, right? We've got 12,000 or whatever, 11,000, 12,000 subscribers. Over there, there's about 400 or 500 people who are very serious about being there. And you keep getting into smaller people groups that really want to get sober, and it ups your chances of success. All right. I'm Captain Tommy Scola. I'm going to be back right here with Brother Russ in about 10 minutes. We're going to be up at about a quarter after. All right. Quarter after laughter. We'll see you there. I'm Captain Tommy, the beautiful squirrel. Nothing? Nothing? Meow. Not in the mood. Apparently not in the mood to serenade you. We'll see you all later. Bye-bye.